Welcome to the boss guide for Advisor Melandrus in the Court of Stars. This is a relatively mechanically simple encounter, where the brunt of the work will be done by the healer. Slicing Maelstrom will be dealing almost all of the damage on this fight, and the damage it deals aggressively ramps up by the third cast. The boss's cast sequence is very simple and repetitive, but we'll talk about some tricks that higher level groups do to make this fight easier. The boss has three main abilities: Blade Surge, Piercing Gale, and Slicing Maelstrom. Blade Surge will target a random player outside of melee range, charge to that location after a second, and then place an illusion there. Piercing Gale shoots out a line from the boss, as well as any illusions that have already spawned. Being struck with either of these abilities will likely kill you instantly. Slicing Maelstrom, the third ability, will inflict AoE damage to the party in 4 successive bursts. The damage of Slicing Maelstrom increases up to the third cast, where it will then level off for the rest of the fight. As a healer, it should be and often will be your job to bait Advisor Melandrus' illusions to a good position. The idea is to bait all of the illusions into the same area, causing all of the Piercing Gale lines to spawn on top of each other. Additionally, many players don't know this, but the boss's Slicing Maelstrom cast actually does significantly more damage if players are standing close to the boss or to one of the boss's illusions. So this is why it's important to bait the illusions into a manageable area on higher keys. Notice here how the Blade Surge targeted the druid even though I was further away. This is because the Moonkin was not in melee range of the boss, so was considered a viable target by the boss. Ideally, groups will try to avoid this because having illusions in more than one place will make dodging Piercing Gale more difficult. Generally, people will try to bait the illusions to either side of the room, leaving the center free for movement. Coming up here will be the fourth cast of Slicing Maelstrom. At this point, the damage is not really survivable without a cooldown. Notice how I begin to prepare healing a few seconds before the damage arrives. As a shaman, I generally start preparing as soon as the Piercing Gale cast goes out, because I know Slicing Maelstrom will arrive about 6 or 7 seconds after that. If the damage profile of the boss looks like this, then our healing profile should look something like this. For this Slicing Maelstrom, I did not have any of my tools available, like Primordial Wave and Cloudburst Totem, so I decided to use my Spirit Link here. This is the type of thing you need to keep running in your head as a healer during this boss. If you're not prepared for a Slicing Maelstrom, it's likely that someone will die. At this point, the fight is just rinse and repeat. See how I'm trying my best to put all the illusions into the same spot, or at the very least, to the same area. For this next Slicing Maelstrom, I prepared a Primordial Wave Healing Wave cleave onto the party, but I cast Healing Wave just a tick too early, putting people at the risk of dying. Let's take a look at my cast sequence preparing for this next Slicing Maelstrom. Here it is again in slow motion. The last thing to note here is the little transparent circles that the boss puts out periodically. These will stun you for a few seconds if you step in them, so it's important to avoid them. Note that certain classes can clear them with immunities, such as a DK with AMS or a rogue with cloak. Some tanks will choose to intentionally step into the puddles as well to help clear them. It may be expected of you to dispel the tank when they do so. And that's how you properly do Advisor Melandrus as a healer. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Good luck in your keystones, and thank you for watching.